Hey guys, we are back with some more Seattle franchise mode, and we are going to be making some moves in this one. Maybe not what you expect though, because we have all this cap space. We have 30 million in cap. So I figured since this is our last year to really make that push, make a run for it, because after this year, we're obviously going to be having some salary cap problems with the contracts of Henrich, Crab, and Fawcett coming up. They're probably going to want like 7 million each at least. So since we have this much cap, I figured the more options we have, the better. So we're going to be getting a lot of depth here. Not like any superstars, not Patrick Kane out of free agency, no superstar defenseman to play with Boychuk, but we're going to get a lot of depth and a lot of different depth options. Like we're going to get some physical guys, we're going to get some offense, we're going to get some defense, we're going to get a little bit of everything out of this free agency. And actually, two of our transactions are not going to be free agent signings, but they are going to be trades. So we'll start with the trades so that we know how much salary cap we have available going into free agency. So we're going to start out with the first one here will be Popovich and a fourth for this year going to Carolina in exchange for Andreas Athanasiou. I believe that's how it's pronounced. I'm not entirely sure. He has 2 years left on his deal, $3 million per year. He is pretty solid at everything. He's, for some reason, a point scorer for the last 3 years, though that, I would imagine that's being on Carolina's, second line at least, and or maybe third line with power play time. I don't know, but he's getting a lot of minutes, so I wouldn't expect that he'll be getting a lot of points on our team because he'll probably be playing third, fourth line. And he gets 172 hit seasons, 173, 149. This guy is consistent with his hit totals, and we need physicality in our bottom six forwards. Not a great giveaway to takeaway ratio, but it's dual. It's like, we can live with it. So, and he's also pretty good at faceoffs. So, and the Carolina Hurricanes are rebuilders. And they want Popovich, they want to give up Athanasiou, and we include a little fourth round pick in there, and I think this trade makes sense for both sides. Proposed trade, boom, there you go. Next trade. We are going to be moving Vyacheslav Plekhanov, low elite, 21 years of age, to San Jose in a 1-for-1 trade for Cody Eakin. That is right. He is on a 1-year deal, 3.6 remaining. Pretty solid center, 36 points, but again, he's out of rebuilder in San Jose. Yeah, he's probably at least second liner, I believe. Faceoffs, really good hits. I mean, this is pretty much the spitting image of Andreas Athanasiou. Just a little bit older, I think. And this should work straight up, I believe. Proposed trade, yup. All right, perfect. So we have two really good centers now that we could use for depth in Athanasiou and Eakin. And yeah, Athanasiou is pretty... Athanasiou is 4 years younger than Eakin. But that age doesn't matter for us right now. We are focused on winning the cup. So we're going to take any player I can get, that's going to help us win the cup. So Nuge might have to be traded this year, and that's part of the reason why I traded for two centers in Eakin and Athanasiou. Because if we have to end up trading Nuge and we can't get another forward back, or we can't get even another skater back for that matter, that is why I got two centers so that one of them can move up, and we'll still have two solid centers at the third and fourth line positions. And then, of course, you have Philip Zadina and Ryan Mowers, who will anchor down the top two center positions, more than likely this year anyway. And then you got Kreider. So we have a lot of physicality now on the bottom six. But what we don't have in the bottom six, other than Nuge, assuming that's where he plays, is scoring. So what we're going to do for this year, we're going to move Liljegren up to forward, and you guys will see what I'm going to do in a minute here. But what I meant by we're going to have options, we're really going to have some options, because not only we're going to have Liljegren, we're going to go out to free agency, and get someone who we can swap out with Liljegren, or maybe somebody else who can who's basically the opposite of Liljegren. Liljegren barely hits, and this guy hits a lot. And who I'm talking about is Kyle Okposo. Very cheap for a second liner. He only wants 3.8. He's 35 years of age, so a lot of experience. 46 points last year. And he is obviously good at producing offense, and that's more than likely third line minutes right there, 1456. Maybe second line without power play, but again, he's proven that he can score with a limited amount of ice time. Not great at faceoffs, but we already have Eakin and Athanasiou for that. And then he hits a lot, 160, and then he's got a pretty good takeaway to giveaway ratio. So that is why we're going to be going after Kyle Okposo for 1 year. He wants 2 years, but we're going to give him 1 year for, let's say, 4.5. Hopefully he'll accept that. And then the last free agent we're going after, that's right, we're only going after 2 this year. It's going to be a defenseman, and it is going to be Christopher Tanev. That's why I'm moving Liljegren forward, and we're going to switch him with Kyle Okposo. Again, the more options we have this season, the better, because Tanev was our most physical defenseman last year, 137 hits, and I believe the second most was Bruce or something with 103. So we definitely need Tanev back on that defensive core, anchoring everything down. So we have physicality at forward now with Eakin, hopefully Okposo, and then Athanasiou and Kreider. Now we need that physical presence back on the defensive court with Christopher Tanev, because Pouliot and Liljegren rarely hit. Boychuk hits a little bit, but not as much as we would need him to. And then Brodin, Beaulieu, and Bruce only get like 100 hits per season each. So I'm thinking, we get Tanev, and then if we rotate Liljegren out for Okposo, then we could always throw Liljegren back on the defensive core for maybe if Pouliot's struggling or someone. So, we have options here. That's the point. And now, unfortunately, Tanev does want more money now that he's in free agency than when he was under our control. But I kind of wanted to explore the options by releasing Tanev, and I think I want to re-sign Tanev for 1 more year for 6 points. I'll go 6.5 just to make sure, because he was, keep in mind, a rock back there every single year. Every single simulation year so far, he has not been a minus, starting with this year right here. And he wasn't even on our team at that point. I believe this is where he started being on our team. He was +1. We were terrible that year. And then, even still, +8, +9, +2, +18. So, now, the other reason I'm bringing Chris Tanev back is because Derek Pouliot, three consecutive 50-point seasons. Those were all these seasons right here. And is it any coincidence then that is when Christopher Tanev played with Derek Pouliot, and then as soon as Tanev was moved up alongside of Boychuk, Pouliot's production dropped significantly when he started playing with Brodin. So we're keeping Brodin, and he's gonna get the chance once again with Boychuk, because I believe that Tanev literally makes Pouliot 2 times better on offense. Because he gives them, because Chris Tanev gives Pouliot the ability to go just all out on offense and just not be able to focus on defense, right? So, well, I mean, obviously he's a defenseman, so he would need to play a little bit of defense here and there, obviously, but I believe Chris Tanev is the rock back there that really helps Derek Pouliot be able to produce. And we'll see if that theory is right this coming year, if assuming that Tanev resigns, and then, we'll see what happens from there. But again, the more options we have this season, the better. So that's why we didn't really go out of our way to make any elite superstar signings or trades. Just trades that are going to really, really help our depth and our options. So there's Matthews. That was that medium elite grinder. All right. Fair enough. We don't really need prospects anyway. Okposo accepted, very nice. Tanev accepted, all right, there you go. And then Pody as well. So that's actually another option at forward that we have because I believe he was like a 78. So now let's take a look at our team. Let's take a look at our contracts first, just to make sure we're within the cap. 16 million. We might have to sign one guy just as like a filler, but other than that, we're good. So forwards: Zadina, Henrich, Crab, Fawcett, Mowers, Nuge, De Silva, Okposo, Athanasiou, Eakin, Kreider, Danault, and Liljegren. That's pretty good. And then defensively, Boychuk, Brodin, Pouliot, Tanev, Beaulieu, Bruce. Again, that's pretty good. So, and then of course, Korpisalo and Lop. So now we're done with making moves at this point for the offseason. We just need to get one guy to fill up the cap, and then the rest is up to the team. If they can pull through, then it'll be probably, I'll look like a genius. If not, then we're just going to have to blow the whole team up next year because, again, $21 million, I'm going to guess at least going towards 3 players in Henrich, Fawcett, and Crab. And then, of course, you have to pay De Silva and Mowers the year after that. So, yeah. And so I think we're going to sign a defenseman here to fill up the cap just so we have another option on defense. You know what? We'll go for Alexiak. We'll get another physical option on defense. 134 hits. Yep, we'll get Alexiak. 1 year. Man, cannot talk. 1 year we'll go, since we can kind of fill in the cap here, we'll go for 5 mil for 1 year for Alexiak. I don't see any reason why he shouldn't accept that. So, I mean, that's pretty much, that's bank compared to what he was asking for. So we'll simulate up to when he signs, which should be right here. Yep, very nice. And that'll be it for the offseason of year number 6. Let's get to the year 7 preseason. All right, so we are in the year 7 preseason. Let's check out the growth. Champion, obviously. Let's see the roster moves. So Zadina, Henrich, oh boy, Crab. That first line, here we go. 90 overall, Philip Zadina. 90 overall, Danny Henrich. 90 overall, Nelson Crab. That is what I'm talking about. And an 89 overall, Pete Boychuk for the official top 2 defenseman tag. So, and then Jake Fawcett, of course, is now a first line forward as well. Rob Bruce, 86. Wonderful. Love to see that. Hopefully he can kill it there. Ryan Mowers, officially a second line forward, 86 overall. Hopefully he kills it on the second line this year. Jonas Brodin, hopefully he can sort of regain his form that he had a few years ago. I mean, obviously this isn't really great, but I feel like Brodin just needed that confidence booster. And last year was definitely that. He was a +4. He was a plus for the first time in franchise history. I mean, the first year, -14, -12, -26, -15. So you got to think at that point, his confidence got to be shot at that point. Then -4. But then, things are starting to look up for him. Not as many points as he ever had, but +4. That's the important thing as a defenseman. And hopefully he can keep that confidence. Then Nuge probably be third line center this year. De Silva, second line forward officially. So we have a lot of options here. Look at this. This is great. Liljegren, 83. Tanev, 82. Good to see he didn't drop off just yet, but though it looks like he's going to very soon. So hopefully he waits until after the playoffs are over to do that. Derek Pouliot, 81. His, as I was mentioning with Tanev, last year was not very productive for him compared to previous years, so I would like to see him try to get back to that previous form if we play him with Chris Tanev. Cody Eakin, Athanasiou, Okposo, Kreider, Alexiak, and Danault. This is a lot of depth. We have a lot of options, and oh my goodness. This is what I was afraid of. No, oh my goodness. All right. Here we go, boys. Goalie controversy. We're going to have to find out which of these two guys plays better. Then we're going to have to ride them into the playoffs and likely trade the other one in the offseason, because that's like $9 million tied up in goaltenders right there. And we kind of can't afford that, especially since Lop just grew like tremendously over the offseason. He was an 82 before, now he's an 86. When his contract is up, he's going to ask for more money, you know it. So he's going to ask for like probably at least 6 mil, I'm guessing. So Korpisalo and Lop, they got to battle it out this year. They really do. They got to split the time. Man, that's going to be rough. I mean, it's a good problem, but it's going to be a tough decision. It will be. You know it. Because Korpisalo, I mean, he's only 29 years of age. He's still got a few years left in him. He had his best year last year since 2019, 2020. And then in the playoffs, I mean, the guy's a rock. He is. So we're going to have to see. We're going to have to see which guy works the best. And then, of course, with our defensive core, keep in mind Liljegren is a forward this year. And yeah, we have a lot of options. We have a lot of depth. This has got to be the year. This has got to be the year. No one on our team is less than an 80 overall. Alexiak and then Danault. Everybody else, like this team needs to win it. Needs to. I honestly don't know what else I could do that can make this team any better. So best lines, I'm going to move Mowers here. De Silva, Fawcett. And Mowers could be the second line, and then Crab, Henrich, Zadina will be in the middle. Crab on the right. Fawcett, Moses, De Silva. Yeah, I'm gonna move Fawcett to the right, so that De Silva can play the left. He seemed to do pretty well on the left wing last year because he had 236 shots. So, in a way, De Silva is the sniper on that second line. So, I want him to be as comfortable as possible, and Fawcett really doesn't take many shots at all. He's more of that defensive player on the second line. So Kreider, Nuge, Okposo. I kind of agree with that, actually. But I do want to see how Liljegren would do at forward, and it's the game actually has Beaulieu scratched, so we're going to have to... Okay, so I'm going to put Tanev up here, Brodin right here, Bruce. Man, Bruce grew to like an 86. All right, you know what? We'll try Pouliot and Bruce to start out just to see if it's like the defensive defenseman that matters. Because if it is, then that'll work out perfectly. If not, then Tanev plays with Liljegren when worst comes to worst. And maybe Tanev has that same effect on Liljegren that he had on Boychuk and Pouliot. Maybe Tanev just needs to be paired with an offensive defenseman, and then he could do some wonders, you know? So I'm not going to scratch Danault. He had a lot of takeaways last year. Athanasiou and Eakin were not scratching. Yeah, it's going to have to be Okposo for right now. Again, we have options that we could just switch around things as we please throughout the season. That's why we signed guys like Okposo, and why we re-signed Tanev. And why we signed Alexiak, because Alexiak is obviously very physical. Maybe if Beaulieu has an off year, we'll replace Pouliot with Alexiak and put Beaulieu with Bruce, and then Alexiak with maybe Brodin or something, and then Tanev back with Boychuk. We have a lot of options. That's the point. That was the point in all those moves in the offseason, and of course, oh man, Korpisalo and Lop. What do we do? Yikes. All right, we'll start with Korpisalo. He's been our goalie for the past few years. Since year one, actually. But we have to make a decision this year on these two. Because there's no way we're going to be able to afford two goaltenders making combined $9 million next year. So that'll be it for that. And let me just go through the other lines here, like the power play, penalty kill, etc. And I'll be right back. All right, so we're good. So let's go through it. Power play, first line, Henrich, Zadina, Crab, Boychuk, Pouliot. Second line is De Silva, Nuge, Mowers, Kreider, and Liljegren. on the point. And then 4-man power play is Zadina, Henrich, Boychuk, and Pouliot. Nuge, Crab, Brodin, and Liljegren. Penalty kill is Athanasiou, Eakin, Beaulieu, and Bruce. And then Zadina, Danault, Boychuk, and Tanev. 3-man is Athanasiou, Beaulieu, and Bruce. And then Eakin, Boychuk, and Tanev. 4-on-4 is Zadina, Henrich, Brodin, and Boychuk. Nuge, Crab, Pouliot, and Bruce. Mowers, Fawcett, Beaulieu, and Tanev. Actually, instead of Fawcett, I'm going to go with De Silva. 3-on-3, Zadina, Henrich, Boychuk, Nuge, Crab, Liljegren, Mowers, De Silva, and Bruce. Extra attackers are Henrich and Mowers. And shootout, Crab, Henrich, Zadina, Boychuk, and Nuge. And then the goaltenders, of course, Korpisalo and Lop. Scratched are Alexiak and Okposo. I read that as Korpisalo for a second. I was like, what? That doesn't make sense. Anyway, that is our starting lineup for year number 7. Let's go into this draft class here really quick, and then we'll end things off. And let's take a look here. So, Cody Eminger, obviously WHL. Yep, nothing really, nothing new about that. Hopefully that's another thing changed in NHL 19. We'll go scouting. WHL. Forwards, 6 weeks. There we go. All right, so that's taken care of. Now, what I'm going to do before we start next episode, or I guess before we end this one off, is I'm going to turn off auto-rotate. All right, good. It's already off from the playoffs. We're going to leave auto-rotate goalies off because we do have that goalie controversy between Lop and Korpisalo. So we got to figure out who is going to be our goaltender going forward. And we will, I guess, end it off here. So next time, we will start out the year 7 season with Seattle. And this has got to be the year. See you guys in the next one.